We are going to talk about 20 things you should keep in mind before getting a budgie. Fact number 1. Parakeets make noise. Of course, their screeching is not as loud as of bigger parrots, but still, if you are used to peace and quiet in your house, then you might be uncomfortable. You can't tell parakeets not to scream. They have a physiological and psychological need to train their lungs, claim their territory, communicate with their kin, and simply keep themselves entertained with various sounds. People who value silence are better off thinking about another pet. Fact number 2. Parakeets make a mess. They are scattering husks from the feet, and there are feathers constantly flying off them. Also, their natural behavior is to chew on everything. They always need toys that they can chew up. Also, these birds can ruin your innovation and your furniture. Sure, there won't be too much mess and destruction from a tiny parakeet, but it's definitely not a suitable pet for those who are irritated by specks of dust on carpets and sofas. Fact number 3. Parakeets need to fly. The powerful workout their tiny bodies receive during flight can't be replaced by any other activity. And it's impossible to maintain Budgie's physical and mental health without flying. Being unable to fly away from irritants creates a sense of helplessness in the tiny creature and makes the bird angry, fearful, or on the contrary depressed. And stagnant air in the lungs allows infections to develop. And yes, living with a flying parakeet might be an inconvenience. But a sick and miserable pet isn't going to make you happy either, is it? Budgies are very sociable. In Australia, you can see giant green clouds of these adorable birds flying from place to place. That's why your little baby won't be able to live alone. If you get one budgie, you will have to talk to him all the time, and he will get very sad if you can't give him enough attention. Also, lonely budgies can become obsessed with mirrors and toys that look like other parakeets, and become very obsessive in stalking their owner. That's why it's generally not recommended to keep them alone. If you want to tame a budgie and build a trusting relationship, you can of course get one first, but then it's better to get him a friend or a girlfriend and gradually introduce them. The first tamed budgie can even help you tame the second one. The upside for the owner is that watching birds interact is very interesting, and it's nice to be reassured that he doesn't suffer from boredom and loneliness while you are away. Fact number 5. Budgies are prone to mimicking. Many people dream of having a talking pet parrot or parakeet, but for some reason it seems to many people that the larger the parrot, the more prone it is to speak. It doesn't really work like that. It all depends on the species of bird. Some are more prone to mimicking different sounds and speech, and some lack this ability. And it has nothing to do with their size. African greys and some Amazon parrots are true geniuses when it comes to mimicking human speech and singing, while the larger macaws and cockatoos can barely pronounce a few words and not very clearly. Budgie speech is also not always very clear. They tend to whisper, lisp, and color words with their natural chirping. Nevertheless, these birds are very talented, and they really like mimicking everything they hear from their flock. It's their natural behavior, and they are really good at it. That's probably why these babies have become so popular and hold such a special place in our hearts. It's interesting to note that it is male parakeets that are prone to mimicking speech. Some girls can do it too, but to a lesser degree. Fact number 6. Sexual dimorphism in budgies is very obvious. You can tell their sex by the way they look. It is rare among parrots and parakeets, because their sexual organs are completely hidden inside their bodies. So we usually rely on indirect signs or DNA tests. However, we can tell the budgie's sex by the color of its cere. Cere is a special bulbous area above the beak. But there is some confusion here too. The fact is that adult female have a brown cere, and males have a blue cere. The catch is that in chicks, the cere is colored differently due to the lack of hormones. And a lot of confusion stems from the fact that girls have a light blue cere until they reach puberty. It's not bright blue as in adult males, but light blue with white circles around the nostrils. And younger males have a pink or a lilac cere. There are exceptions to this rule that have to do with the fact that with some colorings there isn't enough pigmentation to color the cere, and even when the hormone levels are back to normal, the cere remains pink. It applies to albino and completely yellow birds. But generally, the rule is this: young females have a blue cere and young boys have a pink or a lilac cere. Adult males have a bright blue cere and adult females have a brown cere. Fact number 7 is that you can't give parakeets most human food. Yes, they always try to steal it, but they don't know what's good for them and what's not. Tosha, you can't have bread. It's mine, ouch! It's mine, bad boy! You can't have it! No. No! Go away! It's mine! Unfortunately, some people think that animals are somehow able to tell what food they need and whether it's good for them or not. It's a mistake. Both people and animals are able to feel what kind of food will cover their needs only if they have been taught to eat only organic, unprocessed whole foods. Most of our products are not very healthy. They alter our taste buds, and even people shouldn't actually eat them. So it's especially important not to give these foods to our tiny budgies with their tiny delicate livers and kidneys. Also, we belong to a different biological species and easily consume a wide range of products that birds don't encounter in the wild and which are toxic to them. Salt and avocados, for example. The bird won't understand that it can't eat it. It's not only prone to mimicking speech, but also to mimicking behavior, so it will want to try everything its flock eats. Parakeets literally count on you to be the one who knows what's the best and healthiest to eat. I will attach a handy chart with the main dangerous foods and poisonous plants in the description of the video. Therefore, fact number 8, you need to meet your parakeets' expectations and find out what you should be feeding them so they can live a long and healthy life. Despite the fact that there is a wide range of so-called complete feeds in pet shops, unfortunately the nutrition needs of unusual pets are not as well studied as those of cats and dogs. Therefore, food pellets for parrots and parakeets sold in pet stores can be given as a basic diet, but it will not cover all of your pet's needs. Most responsible keepers, breeders and zoos combine them with natural foods. Besides the pellets, it is necessary to add various grains, fruits, vegetables, vegetation, twigs, herbs and nuts to the diet. And of course, even specialized premium pellets aren't completely balanced for your budgie, then it is impossible to make a well-balanced diet for your bird by using 100% seed mix. However, you can use both types of feeding. Ready-made seed mix or pellets could form the major part of the diet, but you shouldn't give limitless amounts of seeds, and you must add a lot of fresh foods every day to achieve a balanced diet. I will link a suggested chart with the suitable foods and plants for the budgies in the description of the video. I must warn you right away that different treats, such as grain sticks, shouldn't make up a large share of their diet. It's just a treat which can be given only occasionally to entertain the bird, and if they contain sugar, they shouldn't be given them at all. It's better to give them ears of plants. Eating ears is not less exciting for a bird, but much safer. Next, you will need the right cage. Right means big enough. At least 20-24 inches in length, so that the budgie can fly from pitch to pitch, and for a couple of birds you will need an even more spacious accommodation. Smaller cages are only suitable as quarantine and temporary options. Also try to avoid different weirdly shaped cages. Complex shapes are difficult to keep clean and they might simply not be safe. Round cages are especially damaging to the bird's psyche. Also keep in in mind that parakeets get attached to their cages, toys, and familiar surroundings. Their sudden relocation to a new home can cause a lot of stress. It's best to do it gradually in several stages. Fact number 10. They get lipomas. I can't tell you exactly what causes the tumors, but as veterinary practice shows, it's a common occurrence in budgies. If you notice your pet has any swellings, unusual formations on the body, you should immediately show him to the vet. And the sooner you do it, the better are the chances to save the bird. And generally, when you get a parrot or parakeet, you should research in advance what kind of clinic you can go to, since not every vet will know the specific of diseases of birds. Illness in birds progresses rapidly, so without losing even a minute of precious time, you should rush to the vet at the very first sign of illness. But there is a fact number 11. If you provide your bird with proper nutrition, good living conditions, and good veterinary care, then your budgie can live with you for a long time. There is a misconception that this tiny bird has a lifespan of a hamster, but that's not true at all. It's possible that budgies live up to 3-5 years in the wild, but conditions in the wild are harsh and all animals live much less than in captivity. With proper care, budgies should live up to 10-50 years. Fact number 12. Budgies are smart. So, if you are into training through positive reinforcement, like teaching animals with clicker training, then you will be able to teach your pet budgie lots of tricks and rules. It's very beneficial to their mental health because it keeps their brains engaged and adds variety to their life. But even if you are not going to dedicate your time to training your bird, you will still notice that it is smart. Don't think that the budgie will use its intelligence to understand your interest and obey you. They are not as gullible as some dogs. The bird will only do things that benefit him and never use any form of violence or scolding against birds. This way you will only frighten or anger him. Birds are only taught through positive reinforcement. There are lots of books on animal and bird psychology, and you should refer to them if you are interested in this topic. Postscriptum. You won't be able to teach your bird to go potty in one place only. They are way too small and their metabolism is way too fast. They are going to poop wherever they fly, and it's better to accept it from the start. Boys and girls have very different temperaments. Males are goofier, they are more prone to mimicking speech and different sounds, and as a result they are noisier. They can also try to feed you by burping food on your shoulder as if you were their girlfriend. Females are more reserved and at the same time more independent and can be strong-willed. This is especially worth considering when you kid budgies together. Females may be more protective of their personal space, and it's always best practice to move in a female with the male, than vice versa. In general, it is necessary to gradually introduce any birds to each other. Despite the fact that budgies are very sociable, no one likes a stranger in the house. Budgies were domesticated a very long time ago, and the history of their breeding is very rich. Initially in the wild, all budgies are grassy green birds with yellow and black stripes and spots, but due to the painstaking work of breeders, we now have almost 200 recognized colors of all possible shades except for red and pink. And there are even two types of these birds: standard and show budgies. Show budgies are placid, have a very large size, proud posture and thick plumage. Fact number 15. Parakeets chew on everything. They have curved beak for a reason. It's designed for strenuous work, such as getting food, and for exploring the world around them. Chewing is good for grinding their beaks and good for their mental health, so it's necessary to give their beaks and minds a bit of a workout. A variety of toys, cardboard rolls, and be sure to give them branches. Give them foraging toys to role-play foraging for food. All these measures will greatly reduce the destruction in your home and keep your pet happy. The next fact that the budgies have to be tamed. They are sociable and generally they want to communicate with a human, but due to difference in size, they are initially afraid of us. That's why it's important to gain the bird's trust. With a bird that hasn't been tamed, tamed, you need to talk to it a lot in a calm voice. From a distance the bird considers safe. Conversations are important since a budgie is tiny and to him everyone around is an enemy and a predator. And from his point of view, the most dangerous are the ones who stare and creep up silently. So it's important to give the bird signals that you are not dangerous and are not trying to sneak up and eat him. This alone is very calming and with the time will allow you to shorten the distance. When the parakeet will let you get within an arm's length, you can try offering him some treats, showing that interacting with you is not only safe but also pleasant. The young ones are more easily tamed. They don't know the rules this world operated by and don't view all new things in a negative light. Fact number 17. Budgies won't make lots of babies unlike hamsters. If you get a pair of budgies, the chances that they are going to make babies without you knowing are small. As a rule, breeding parakeets is not a simple task and you need to create special conditions for the animals. Yes, some active females can even lay eggs at the bottom of their cage. Most often it's due to some external stimuli that makes her think that maybe the spring has come and it's time to have children. If parrots laid eggs at the bottom of their cage, you simply need to remove them, since it's unlikely that they will be able to incubate their eggs and raise their offspring without special preparation. For two fertile females or excessively sexually active males, you need to reduce their daylight hours no more than 12. Remove some food from their diet, protein foods and sprouts. Remove objects that might remind them of tree holes from their side. If you decide to get into breeding parakeets, then you should research the information on the topic in detail. Learn how you should prep the birds and buy all necessary equipment. Fact number 18. Parakeets require gentle and delicate care. Due to the fact that they are so tiny, only 30-40 grams, they most often die because of human carelessness. They are squished by doors and stomped on. They drown in vases and pots. So it's a good idea to immediately discourage birds from sitting on doors and walking on the floor. You should never let your parakeet walk in the kitchen, since it's a gold mine of dangerous and lethal substances and situations. Many parakeets tragically die when they get scalded or burned to death during cooking. Make sure to only let your budgie out for a walk under supervision and keep an eye on potentially dangerous factors. Fact number 19 should be emphasized separately. Homes where parakeets live should be at least equipped with mosquito nets. They will allow you to air the room and not worry about the bird flying out of the window, because it's also one of the most popular reasons for losing these cute little pets. But make sure that the net is metallic, otherwise the parakeet can chew through it. Budgies are very cute pets. It's very easy to get attached to them, but to tragically lose them because of carelessness it's easy too. And fact number 20. Budgie is the best parakeet. If you look at all effort you need to make sure that your parrot or parakeet leads a safe and happy life and at the joy his companionship is going to bring you, then Budgie is a champion. There is no competition, but you should remember that this pet is not for everyone, and it's always best to learn everything about the bird in advance before you decide to get one. This was Marina Pravda. In Russian, Pravda means truth. This was Bestiary Channel, the truth about keeping unusual pets at home, and Tosha, who's tired to being filmed. Bye! The only downside of budgies being so amazing is that people who get them assume that if one tiny budgie makes them so happy, then it must follow that getting a large parrot the double or triple the happiness, which is a giant error. You should check out my earlier video titled 5 reasons not to get a large parrot if you want to learn why you should think 100 times before getting a large parrot. I will link the video.